Welcome to Chardstel TV. Imagine a world where you no longer have to deal with traffic, where your daily commute is no longer bound by the limitations of the road, where you can simply soar above the city. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's fast becoming our reality. Flying cars, once a staple of futuristic movies and wild imaginations, are closer to becoming a part of everyday life than you might think. But how soon until we actually see flying cars hitting the market? That's the question on everyone's mind. And in today's video, we're diving deep into the technology, the challenges, and the companies that are racing to bring us the future of transportation. Stick around until the end of the video, because we're not just looking at when flying cars will be available, we'll also explore how they might change the world as we know it. So, buckle up. Whether you're a tech enthusiast, a transportation buff, or just curious about the future, this is going to be an exciting ride. Now, before we start talking about flying cars hitting the market, let's talk about where this idea even came from. Believe it or not, the concept of flying cars dates back to the early 20th century. From Leonardo da Vinci's flying machine sketches to the first experimental cars that tried to leave the ground, humans have long dreamed of taking to the skies. In fact, the first known attempt at a flying car was in 1917 with the Curtiss autoplane. While it didn't quite take off as expected, literally, it set the stage for a century of innovation and experimentation. Fast forward to the present day, and we have major companies and startups alike working hard to turn this dream into reality. The first major hurdle is, of course, the technology. To make a flying car viable, we need powerful yet efficient propulsion systems, lightweight materials, and advanced navigation technologies. Companies like Airbus, Uber Elevate, and even smaller innovators like Terrafugia are all working on developing these technologies. And some of them are much closer to a breakthrough than you might expect. One of the most advanced prototypes to date is the Terrafugia Transition, a roadable aircraft that can convert from a car to a plane in under a minute. It's equipped with wings that fold in when it's on the ground, and when it's time to take off, the wings expand and the car turns into an aircraft. Sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, right? But it's real, and it's already completed numerous test flights. Now, while this might sound promising, there's still a long way to go before flying cars become as common as the vehicles we drive today. There are a number of obstacles to overcome, regulations, infrastructure, and cost being among the biggest. Let's start with regulations. The skies aren't just an open road where anyone can fly freely. The airspace is heavily regulated, and for good reason. Air traffic control systems are designed to manage commercial planes, drones, and military aircraft. And adding flying cars into that mix will require a complete overhaul of these systems. We'll need new rules, new technologies, and a whole lot of coordination to make sure the skies stay safe. This brings us to infrastructure. Sure, flying cars are cool, but where are you going to take off and land? Not every home or building is equipped with a helipad, and the concept of flying cars demands a network of landing zones, charging stations, and air traffic routes. Urban planners and governments will have to work hand in hand with tech companies to build the infrastructure necessary to support this new mode of transportation. Then there's the issue of cost. Early models of flying cars are expected to be priced well out of reach for most people. Just like when the first automobiles came out, they were luxury items, affordable only to the wealthy. The good news is, as the technology advances and mass production kicks in, the price is likely to come down, just as we saw with electric cars. If you're enjoying this video so far and find the content valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community. We've got more exciting videos like this lined up, and subscribing ensures you won't miss a thing. Let's talk about some of the companies that are leading the charge in flying car development. Airbus, one of the largest aircraft manufacturers in the world, is working on an autonomous flying taxi called the City Airbus. This is an all-electric vertical takeoff and landing VTOL aircraft that's designed for short urban trips. Think of it as Uber, but in the air. No pilot required. Just hop in, and the vehicle takes you where you need to go. Uber is another major player, partnering with aerospace companies to develop flying taxis as part of its Uber Elevate initiative. Uber envisions a future where you can book a flying car ride as easily as you would book an Uber today. In fact, they've already conducted flight demonstrations, and their goal is to have flying taxis in operation by the end of this decade. Another company making waves is Volocopter, which is developing a personal air vehicle that looks like a cross between a helicopter and a drone. It's designed to fly short distances, and it could revolutionize commuting in large cities by providing a quick and efficient way to bypass traffic. The Volocopter has already performed several test flights, and it's generating a lot of buzz in the tech world. But when can we expect flying cars to hit the market? The timeline varies depending on who you ask. Some experts say we could see commercial flying cars within the next 5 to 10 years. Others are more cautious, predicting that it could take closer to 20 years for flying cars to become widespread. A lot depends on how quickly the regulatory and infrastructural challenges can be addressed. One thing is for certain, though. Flying cars are no longer just a fantasy. They're on the horizon, and they're going to change the way we think about transportation. Imagine cities with less traffic, quieter streets, and more efficient commutes. Flying cars could open up new possibilities for how we live and work, offering the freedom to travel in ways we've never imagined before. Before we wrap up, let's consider what this means for the future. Flying cars won't just impact transportation, they'll have ripple effects across industries. Real estate could be transformed as people are no longer tied to living near their jobs. Logistics and delivery services could become faster and more efficient with airborne drones and vehicles. Even the way cities are designed could shift as we move away from roads and embrace the skies. It's a thrilling time for technology, and flying cars are just the beginning. Who knows what other innovations are waiting around the corner? Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. We're just getting started, and there's so much more to explore in the world of technology and innovation.